I'm located in Shaftesbury, Vermont, which is between Manchester and Bennington, and I'm a 100% online-based business. I'm also a marketing consultant with the Vermont Small Business Development Center, teaching clients about social media and email marketing. And I'm really, really happy to be here today to talk to all of you, and know that this is being recorded as a tool for Vermont Arts Council. So what's nice is you'll be able to go back and see this again if you have any questions, or maybe perhaps you missed today's session. So I am going to share my screen and then stop the video so that you will just see the screen and be able to pay attention to that. If you have questions as we're going through this, feel free, there will be questions at the end, of course, but sometimes it is a little easier to pop a question in the chat, or I think Elke's gonna let me know if I'm not paying attention to the chat, if there are any questions. So feel free to ask. It's about a learning process today. So here we go. Okay. Okay, so I hope you can see the screen. If you cannot, Elke, please let me know. So today's session webinar is on social media marketing, benefits, demographics, and content calendars. So the big thing, I mean, everybody's talking about social media marketing, but what is it, and who can benefit? I think those are some really big things we need to address here. Social media marketing, it's a form of digital marketing using social media platforms, and we're going to talk about some of the big ones today. These platforms and sharing content on these platforms are a way to increase brand awareness, stay top of mind, and talk about your products and services, to cultivate relationships, build trust, build relationships, and of course sell your products and services with consumers and your potential customers, kind of bringing them through what we call a buyer journey, which is the process that someone goes through from being the potential customer to your hopefully repeat customer. So social media marketing is a huge player in digital marketing is the umbrella, and social media marketing is one of the pieces of digital marketing. Others are, search engine optimization, which involves being, seen when someone Googles something that's related to your business or service, and being found on the first page of Google results. That's called ranking. That's one way. There's email marketing. There's a lot of different pieces of digital. So social media marketing is one of those pieces. And what it involves is creating content for social media platforms. So you're promoting your products or services. You're building community as well. You're building community. Let's see. Oops, sorry. You're building community, promoting the products. You're going for your target audience. That's the really big thing here. It's like, when you think about, well, who's my target audience? Those are the demographics that you want to research before you think about which platforms you're actually going to go on and put your content on. So if you, we're going to talk about more of this as we go forward, the demographics of each platform. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to drive traffic to your business, whether it's a storefront, or you're trying to drive traffic to your website. And what can you do on the website? Well, if it's an e-commerce brand and maybe you are selling the products online on the website, that makes a lot of sense to send people to your website. Who can benefit from social media marketing? Well, pretty much anyone, quite honestly. Definitely artists, small to medium-sized businesses benefit, corporations benefit, nonprofit organizations, musicians, performers, professionals, pretty much everyone, even people that are, you know, they're freelancers and they're maybe they're going to be a startup, they're entrepreneurs, they've been in the game for a while, they're looking to grow their brand or their, their business or their personality, in terms of like the personality as a brand. Even job seekers, it's a big thing. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn a little bit too, as a business to business brand. Maybe not so much for an artist to be there as selling the business, so to speak, but as someone to network with other people in the industry and just in general. It's a really great place to be. But we'll break that down more as we go. So essentially, everyone can benefit from being on social media, but just narrowing down what platforms and what type of content to put on those platforms. However, there's this webinar today, and then there's another webinar that I'll be leading on social media, tools, tips, and techniques, and that's happening on June 22nd. So I really encourage you to chime in on that one, or at least check out the recording on that if you can't come that day, because there's going to be some really good info there as well. So what are some of the benefits of social media marketing? Well, there's a lot. So, a lot of times people think it's just to sell your products, but really that's actually something that comes later. You don't want to just get on social media and sell your product or your service, or, what you want to do is you want to build a relationship and trust with your leads, with your audience, with your potential customers, build a community. You can talk to your new and existing customers there to build that relationship, and doing to build a relationship, it takes engagement. It takes posting content that you feel you're bringing value to your audience. And when I say value, what does that mean? What that means is, what do you think they want to see? Do they want to see videos of you? If you're an artist, and that can mean a lot of different things, which is really cool. Are you showing behind the scenes of how you show a canvas, and then maybe you show what it looks like the before and after? And I will tell you, people love before and after content. So maybe that's what you do to bring more community and trust to your audience. There's a lot of different ways you can go. But engagement, which is likes, comments, questions, shares, that's really important, because that not only builds the relationship and community, but it also tells the algorithms, which you're going to hear that a lot. It shows the algorithms on each platform that your brand is popular, and people want to talk more about it, and they do want to share, and they do want to engage and be social on the social media platform. So that's really important. By sharing this content on social media, it's going to increase your brand awareness and recognition, and really establish yourself as an industry thought leader. So you're going to stay on top of mind for your target audience, your potential customers, which is great, because if you stay on top of mind, then when they need the product or service that you offer, they're gonna reach out to you. And by doing that, you either you further bring them through the buyer's journey. You bring them the value that they need to feel that you support them, so that they actually want to do business with you in the future. But it's more than just selling. There's a lot of things here. Social media does yield a high return on investment. It takes a while, though. I will say this: I don't want anybody to ever feel that, oh, if I put content out there, then I'm going to get $10,000 in sales in a month. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, we wish it did, and if it did, that would be amazing for all of us. However, it's just not that simple. What I like to tell people is that marketing in general is a marathon and not a sprint. So you have to continually put in the effort and be consistent to post and build content and analyze the metrics and do this whole thing over and over the cycle continuously to see results. So it can take months for it to really work, But once you start to gain momentum, and you keep up with it, and then how the industry is changing, you really can see some business growth. And that's the exciting part, is all of this coming together. So speaking more about benefits, you're able to increase website traffic and boost sales, of course. You show your expertise through content. Maybe you share some tips. And whatever, if it's music you're talking about, you can share about the music industry, what you're doing. Maybe you share some videos of a new song you played or something like that, to kind of give pieces of content to your audience. Right, so you can create live videos, and then what's really cool is you can sell on social media platforms. So if you had a product, or even a service, technically speaking, if you gave lessons, you could have a Facebook shop right on Facebook. And that, I think there's an option, or there was, I don't know if it's changed most recently. You can either have someone purchase right from the shop, or it does send them to, they can view the item or the offer and then be taken to your website. There's also the Instagram shopping feature, and this is a huge thing. And recently, tags, meaning like tagging the product in the photo on Instagram, has become quite big. So there's a lot of opportunity for selling your products on social media, or driving people to your website. Another wonderful thing about marketing on social media is that you can learn from your competitors. And that's really helpful for research. That's helpful even in the beginning stages and throughout the whole entire process of the business. But learning from your competitors on what types of content they're sharing and how you can set yourself apart from your competitors is really great for business success. You can see what kind of hashtags they're using, and we'll talk about hashtags a little more in the next webinar. But hashtags are essentially, it's what, as a musician, I would say that it is the sharp sign, or it is the pound sign on a phone, right? But a hashtag is put before a word, and what it does is, on Twitter and on Instagram is hashtag heavy. It basically is what the search terms that people are searching for in this search field on that social media platform. If they search for something and it is attached to your content that you've shared, then they're going to find your content. But there's a strategy around this, because there's so much content that is created every minute on every social media platform in the world, that what you kind of have to do is talk about, you have to add hashtags that are not as popular to be found a little easier. So we can talk about this more in the future. But that's one thing you can do, is learn from your competitors. You can also partner with influencers on social media marketing, and we'll talk about that more in the techniques session. Okay, there are more benefits. You have the opportunity to go viral, which means you become popular quickly, or your piece of content becomes popular quickly. And that's really, really cool. So there's that opportunity. You can also source content ideas. Now, you don't want to plagiarize. You don't want to use the same exact content. You can't, share something without someone's permission, for one, and you would want to give the credit where it's due. But it gives you an idea of information that you might, I might build this kind of piece of graphic or video or picture or something like that for your brand. What's great about social media marketing is you have reputation management and crisis communication. So that's a really big player. Customer service is huge. You can engage with your customers and ideal clients, and you can, something called social listening is so huge. Basically, you're learning about your customers' wants and needs by looking at their comments and seeing how they interact with your posts. You can also do this by seeing how they interact with your competitors' posts. One of the other really big things here is reporting and analytics, and a social media marketing strategy really cannot exist without reporting and analytics. And what that means is once you post or build content, schedule it, post it, you want to look at the reporting and the analytics because you want to know how you can optimize from where you are. Because this is kind of like, again, the cycle of always knowing, okay, this is doing well. I'm posting at this time of day. Oh, it looks like video is very popular with my audience. I want to post more video. You want to do what looks like is working. And again, that can take some time to understand those metrics, but it's really important. And that's a great benefit, is to get that kind of feedback. So how many people are using social media? Wow. You know, a lot of people. So in 2022, or in May, it's estimated that it's going to reach 3.96 billion users. I mean, that is a huge, I mean, it's still growing. The industry is still growing. And as mobile devices and social networks, you know, are changing because they're always in competition with each other to get the users. Meta, which used to be Facebook as the parent company, but the parent company is Meta, owns, you know, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. They're, you know, seeing what other brands are doing like TikTok, and so they're implementing more video and this and that. So it's really kind of neat to see how it's growing, but it's definitely a popular digital marketing path, that's for sure. So let's see, we'll get this out of there. Leading benefits of using social media marketing purposes worldwide as of January 2021. So here's some of the breakdown. I thought it would be really interesting to go over this. Increased exposure was the top one, and I'm really glad to see that. And not, you know, I mean, you do want increased traffic. You definitely want to generate more leads and increase sales. But social media marketing and content marketing, which is, you know, sharing content to bring value and create that community, that's the most the leading percentage here is increased exposure with increased traffic right behind it, and then generating leads. It looks like improved sales is kind of more down the list. So that's an interesting breakdown. So we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook. Facebook is the largest social media network of all of the networks right now. It's the most online used, and it's 2.93 billion monthly active users. I mean, that is a huge, huge number. The largest age group is 25 to 34-year-olds. So it's about 43% female, 57% male. There's no data on other genders that I could find for the platform. So I just wanted to bring light to that because I want to be inclusive, but I just want to state that I couldn't find data on other genders. So that's the breakdown. 65% of people are over 50, which I think that, you know, when I talk to people, they say to me, oh, well, that's really for the younger generation. I said, not necessarily. I think honestly, as an artist, you know, Instagram is definitely a big player, a great place to be. And if somebody were to think, well, I want to be on more than just one platform, if you wanted, you have to be careful because honestly, that's a lot of work. So sticking with one platform would be fine. Mastering it, that's a great way to go. But if you were to say, oh, I wanted to be on 2 platforms, Facebook is a really great platform to be on for sure. So it's about being, you know, clickable links, some photo, but definitely a player to think about here. 70% of people earning more than $75,000 a year are on Facebook. So that's really good to think about when you're thinking, okay, my demographic is this. Oh, maybe you do want to be on Facebook. Maybe that's where your ideal client happens to be. Let's see. Oh, and here we go. Users spend an average of 19.5 hours a month on Facebook. Yeah, I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. I'm one of those people because there's a lot of value on Facebook with Facebook pages, business pages, the groups, a lot of value that I've found on that platform, not just as a business owner, but as a professional. and as a person. People go to Facebook to talk with their family and friends, but there's a lot of opportunity for businesses and entrepreneurs and artists to have part of that. And here's just some graphs of the uh, biggest age groups and gender. Thought it would be good to have some visuals there. Educational background, the college degrees are leading with 73%, and some college 71%, and high school 54%. So it's definitely an educational, I would say, heavy platform. There's over 10 million active advertisers on Facebook as of 2020, so that's another good piece. Definitely a good place to have a business for organic content, which is unpaid. And then once you get your page going and you were like, okay, now I want to get some more momentum, it's fine. It's absolutely fine once you make sure you're posting consistently and your page is built out to advertise on Facebook. And the great thing is that it doesn't cost a lot of money to advertise, as opposed to like a print ad, which I still believe in print ads. There's always a time and a place. I definitely think that you can, put some money into Facebook ads and be able to target them. That's a really wonderful thing about digital marketing when it comes to social media ads. But that's more for the future. 7 in 10 Facebook users say they visit the site daily. That definitely makes sense to me. It's businesses, don't be afraid. If you think your target audience, your ideal client, is on social media on the weekends, which they most definitely are, but it depends on who your ideal client is, don't be afraid to post and schedule content for the weekends. This isn't just a Monday through Friday scenario. People, depending on who they are, which target area they're in, are definitely reaching for their social media apps on their phones and whatever they're doing pretty much every day. It's the most used networking app amongst marketers. So 93%, huge. It's just, there's so much value. There's so much opportunity for connection there. So 70% of US adults use Facebook. So that's really, really good to know. It's the most popular network, which we've talked about. It's also the second most popular right after YouTube. YouTube is huge because it's it's really a search engine. If you think about it, how do I do this? How do I do that? People use it to learn, and there's opportunities for you to share content. There's also opportunities for you to advertise if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to. You can literally drive traffic to your brand, to your website, using organic content. Let's see, leading types of branded posts on Facebook. This didn't surprise me at all, to be honest, because we're looking at the links, photos, videos, and like if you had a status update. So photos, those get through the content filter easier than if you're always posting a link, because a link will take someone off of Facebook and bring them to a third-party website, which is fine to do once in a while. You don't want to do it all the time, because if you think about it, taking someone off of Facebook and bringing them to your website is going to mean that Facebook doesn't make money off of that person as much, because they're going away from Facebook. Whereas if you keep them on the platform, it's, they get to see more stuff and they have the possibility of clicking an ad, right? So, and Facebook makes money off of that. So the idea is to, mix it up a bit with your content as you're moving forward. So we're on to Instagram, and we talked a little bit about Facebook. I'm a big fan of Facebook myself. Some things I'm not the biggest fan of as a consumer, but at the same time, I know that nothing's perfect, and I also know that there's room for growth. So I'm hoping that that Meta will listen to the consumers that are using it and the businesses and make some positive changes for all, so that we all can feel comfortable about the social platforms we're on. In 2021, I think in Q4, Facebook lost a lot of users, perhaps related to some news that came out, but I think they're trying to make some changes. And I think it's in their best interest, but it's really also in our best interest. So that we feel really, really comfortable about the platforms we're on. So hopefully that will drive the needle forward in a way that benefits us all. So now we're going to talk about Instagram. So Instagram is really cool. There's lots of great stuff happening with Instagram. It's a photo sharing and video social networking platform. And it has a digital filter feature to edit the content and to add words and to, add stickers and all these other cool things to make your content attractive and fun and really bring value to your ideal client. It's got about, they're projecting about 127.2 million monthly active users. It's a big number. It's definitely gaining more popularity. And again, each platform is competing with each other for the next big thing because they're seeing the users go to one platform and move over to the next. So they're really trying to drive it forward with new features. So here we go. 35% of music listeners in the US who follow artists on Facebook and Instagram do so to connect with their fans or feel like part of a community. So this is a really big thing when it comes to, we're meeting today through the Vermont Arts Council, and we're thinking about artists, right? So Instagram is a huge, huge place that I would really look in to see if the demographics make sense for you, if your ideal client is on Instagram, and then, building your brand, thinking about building your brand on this platform. If you're already on this platform, hopefully you're going to learn some things today on how to, further your reach on the platform itself. 71% of US adults between 18 and 29 use Instagram compared to 70% on Facebook and 30% on LinkedIn. So that's really cool. That's definitely a piece of information that you want to hold close about where to go in terms of with your artistic brand. So, okay, 47% of US Instagram users make more than $75,000 per year. That's also really helpful to know too. And I thought this was really important. On Instagram, if you have a photo showing faces, it's going to generally get 38% more likes than a photo not showing faces. So that's, I think, people really want to connect. They want to connect with authenticity. And that's what Instagram is actually trying to promote more now. They want less robot. They don't want robots, technically speaking. I mean, they want people. And I mean to say like actual robots. If they sense that you're posting something and it's a robot doing it, they will dock your content and show it to less people in their news feed. So they just want more authentic relationships between brands and consumers. That's what they're really trying to go for. So there's the largest age group here, again, is 25 to 34, with 18 to 24-year-olds are close behind at 31%. Instagram is still has a really strong hold on Gen Z and millennials. I'm a 39-year-old, so I'm the upper end of the millennials. And I got to say, there's so much good content on Instagram that I'm seeing. There's educational content. There's, I do see artists. I'm also seeing a lot of good business stuff. There are a lot of marketers on there. I learn a lot for myself and professionally speaking through Instagram. I learn a lot through TikTok too, but we'll get to that later in the presentation. And that comes that comes as a surprise to a lot of people. It came as a surprise to me, to be honest with you, but there's a lot of learning opportunities in all of these platforms if you really know how to get there and or you're open to it. That's a good way to put it too. So the gender, 48.4% of female, 51 male. I was actually surprised on this. I thought it would be higher for females than males, but I'm curious to see where that's going to go going forward. And the average time is 29 minutes spent per day, which I actually thought that was going to be higher. Maybe because I'm a business owner, I spend more time on there myself, but there's a lot of value there. So I definitely spend more than 30 minutes a day. So some of the benefits of Instagram, I really wanted to kind of jump into benefits of this platform, take it one step further. It's a great place for online self-expression. And, some brands like to display their wealth through photographs and attractive features like that. But It's really a place for high quality photos, graphics, and videos. That's really, really important. If you post something and it looks like it's grainy or it's blurry, that's not going to help your brand on Instagram. I mean, it's not really going to help your brand on any platform, but really, really on Instagram, you want to think about these high quality photos that are crisp and clear and really can convey the message, because that's what the platform is really about. And that's what people really want to see. Um, so users are easily able to, you can share your content very easily on the social platform. There's a couple different things going on. There's, posts, which is a static post. The picture does not move. There's reels, there's stories, which are quick, videos that go away after a certain amount of time. There's lots of opportunities for content sharing here. Because of the different types of content that you can share, there's high levels of engagement. So if you're looking for a platform where you can really have that social conversation with your audience, Instagram is a great place to do it. And don't be afraid of the hashtags. You can have up to 30. You don't want to use the same 30 hashtags though on Instagram. And again, we'll talk about this in the next webinar, because if you use the same 30 hashtags after you write your copy or your wording, your text, the platform's going to think you're a robot, and it's not, and it's going to say, oh, we don't want to do that. We're not going to show this content to more people in the feed, and it's actually going to hurt you. So you want to use different hashtags that are related to your strategy. It's a great place to have influencer brand endorsements of products and services. So if you had an influencer working with your brand or your business, this is a wonderful platform where they can take it forward for you. And so the cool thing, 50% of Instagram users visit a website after seeing it in stories. And stories is that, video-ish clip, I guess you could say, that goes away after a certain amount of time. So when people are seeing these stories, then they're going to the website of the brand. And to do that, a lot of brands say, visit the link in the bio. Instead of adding a link to each post like you can do on Facebook, you want to put the link, whether it's to the actual website or what's called a link tree. There's other brands that do this. Beacon does this as well. That's like a link you click that's in the bio, and it's a hub. It's a hub of all these websites that you are related to your brand. So you could have someone go to your website. You could have them go to your shop. Maybe there's a place for them to sign up for your email list, and that would attach to like the link tree. But that goes in the bio. And essentially, if you are posting content consistently and people are really enjoying the content, and you encourage them with a call to action, you gently encourage them to click on your link in your bio, there's more chance that they're going to do that after they see a story, and they're going to go to your website. Let's see. Overall, worldwide, Instagram really takes the cake. It's just passing TikTok. And TikTok was the most downloaded social media app, in 2021, I believe. It's either 2020 or 2021, and we'll get to that later. But TikTok really super growth power, but Instagram somehow just led it a little bit further. And these two different colors here, we have the App Store, which is blue, so that's iOS, the Apple Store, and then Google Play is on Android. So that's the breakdown of people, who downloaded the app. I was really interested to see this data here. That came as a surprise to me, because I'm hearing so much about Apple. I have an Android phone myself, so I'm playing with Google Play. But I'm kind of curious as to why, what that is. Personally, I'm gonna divulge into that a little more myself, because I'm curious. But that's the beauty of data and reporting and analytics, is to know, well, why is that happening? So then, I might change my approach in my business on how I, target my ideal customers, and you might do something similar for your business. So it's the most popular social network of teenagers in the United States. It's dominated by people under 35. Dominated. That doesn't mean people over 35 don't use it. It just means right now that's where the marker is. But it's really, really great for artists, people in the fashion industry, luxury brands, retailers, And it's a huge place for e-commerce. Again, we have, Facebook shop, that's a, excuse me, not Facebook shop, Instagram has a shop feature, and it's really big for marketers too. 59% of people log into Instagram daily. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of people. And 91% of active users are watching videos weekly. So videos get so much more reach than a static photo, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't use static photos. I think it's really important to have a mix. So when you're going forward with that, that's really important. Let's see. So see, it just raises the amount of users since January of 2013 has just look at the growth. That's amazing, from 18 to 2021. Look at that. And that was even before, no, the pandemic happened, it started in March of 2020. So maybe that's correlated to the pandemic. Content marketers say are most valuable for social goals. And I'm not going to get too much into this today because I'm going to talk more about types of content techniques during the webinar on June 22nd. So next month. So stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to touch on the idea that to reach social media goals, I mean, the whole idea of producing content to reach your target audience, your ideal client, is what are your goals? What are your business goals? Why am I doing this? What is your why? Why did you start the business? And then break it down to, well, what am I actually trying to accomplish here? You don't want to just put out anything. We're going to talk about content calendars a little later today too. But video and images are huge. Text-based posts are still happening. They're not as popular on Instagram. And they're harder to be seen, to be honest, with all the content that is produced every minute and published every minute by every brand and business and person and artist in the world. Text-based posts don't really make it through as easy. If you put a photo or a video in, that's going to help your content get seen. Stories are still big. They're less than text-based posts, but I think it's nice to have a mix. And live video is something that's important too. But I think honestly, when you go through your strategy, it's important to know to look at your analytics, excuse me, and see what's working. If something is working, maybe text-based posts are working for you, then that's something you want to stick with. Okay, Twitter. Twitter enables users to send short 280 character messages called tweets. By the end of 2021, there was 217 million daily active users. And Twitter is forecasted, I mean, it's a great place for customer service. It's forecasted to lose users over the next 5 years, to really decline. So I'm kind of interested to see, Elon Musk just purchased it recently. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen there because of that purchase. But essentially, 1/3 of Twitter users are college educated and they make more than $75,000 annually. Twitter is a great place for, customer service, brands, definitely share, photos and video, but it's also a really great place to, social listening, to like see what your competitors are doing, see what your ideal client is interested in. And it's also a really great place to job search. I'm not sure if anyone's aware of that, but it is a good place to do that. And, you just have to kind of think about what kind of content you want to share if you're going to go there, if your demographic is there. The largest age group is 25 to 34-year-olds. 38%-ish are female and 61-ish are male. And 31 minutes is the average that people spend a day. And people, find out about their news on Twitter. I don't know if you remember, I don't know how many months ago that was. Facebook had an outage, maybe in the last 6 to 8 months. And pretty much everybody found out about it, not just because they were on Facebook and it went out, but everyone went to Twitter and LinkedIn to find out what was going on. So the breaking news happens on Twitter for sure. So here's a little breakdown: frequent tweeters and infrequent tweeters. So if you post on Twitter, you're considered a tweeter. Here's the distribution: 30 to 49 is your highest level there. That's interesting to me. Kind of wondering how that's going to change over the next few years, especially with the Elon Musk buyout. So it is popular. However, it doesn't compare to Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. YouTube's really huge. We know Facebook is the largest one. They all have over 2 billion users, and Twitter does not. But it's still a big player in the game. You can share your opinions there. There's entertainment, news we talked about, job searching. People are, sales and marketing spending in 2021 was 1.17 billion. So it's definitely still a player. I don't want you to think it's not, but I don't know if it would make sense for you to be on there as an artist. I don't know. Again, you have to look at the demographics, see what makes sense for you, but it's definitely one I wanted to talk about because it's still a player. YouTube. I wanted to jump into YouTube. I think it's really important to talk about this, and this is something that I see as underutilized. I know there's like only so much bandwidth that we all have as business owners, that's for sure. But YouTube is really great, especially for a content creator, an artist, musician. As of 2021, there was an estimate of 2.24 billion users worldwide. It's the world's leading music app, so definitely something to think about going forward. Number of monthly active users is over 2 billion, and the largest age group is 15 to 35-year-olds. So that's the highest reach. This could change in the future for sure, but right now that's where it sits. And the gender is dominating with male, just a little bit more, 54% male and 46% female. People spend about 30 minutes per day on YouTube. I find that to be incredibly low, to be honest. Perhaps, I don't know why that's coming through at 30 minutes. I tend to spend quite a bit of time on YouTube looking for, how do I do this? How do I learn that? I mean, from simple things to how to tie a tie to, please let me know about the latest Google Analytics release and, what I need to know about that. So it depends on, if we're artists, we can, how do I play the guitar? How do I, what is the best breathing technique to play the trumpet? There's so many different things you can look up. And then again, these are things you can, as artists, create content and share this with your audience. And so people find you through YouTube, and then you have your link to your website in the below the video. There's so many ways to drive traffic to your website and people to buy your products and services after you've brought them value. So 90% of Americans who make 75,000 or more are on YouTube, and 89% of Americans with a college degree are on YouTube. So that's really, really important to know. 62% of YouTubers do log into the platform daily. That makes a lot of sense to me. It is, again, another platform that has high engagement and retention, just like Instagram. It's the second largest search engine after Google. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Google, we go to Google to search about how to do things. But if you are visual, I am very visual, and I like to hear and see at the same time. And so YouTube is perfect. Great way to learn and inform and educate, because with social media marketing, we're trying to educate, inform, and entertain our ideal client to build that trust and relationship. And I will just say this, just to touch upon quickly, 80% of the time when you're posting content, you want that the content to be that education, inform, build relationship. And the 20% of the time is selling and promoting your products. So it doesn't feel like you're just coming at people with your selling, and it feels, you want those really, honestly, authentic relationships. Just feels better anyway, even if you weren't selling anything at all. It's just lead with kindness, essentially, bring value, build community, and bring it forward with that authentic piece. most YouTube traffic comes from social media platforms. So that's really cool. You can essentially drive people to YouTube with your, say you're on Instagram, you can bring them to your Instagram, your YouTube channel, or you could do that with Facebook. You can bring them through your funnel, whatever that looks like. The leading entertainment and video streaming apps in 2021 by downloads, Netflix was first. That makes sense. However, they had some changes recently, and it looks like they're going to lose a lot of users. But YouTube was right after it, and Google Play Games was after that. It's interesting to see the breakdown here. Let's see, hours spent by video consumers in a typical week on a video content worldwide as of second quarter 2021. It's really neat to see this breakdown. Watching paid video streaming services. Looks like the tallest here is watching free video streaming services, and that's YouTube, right? And they're doing that 1 to 5 hours on a typical week. So if you're able to put your content on YouTube, you have opportunities to catch your ideal client and bring them through and make them aware of your brand. So we're going to talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is about 645 million users. It is a business-to-business platform. It used to just be job seeking and jobs. It's so much more than that now. It is a little bit of everything. You can also, you can use the free version of LinkedIn. That you don't need to go for premium. You don't need to, unless you wanted to utilize their LinkedIn Learning, but you don't have to do that. You could learn on YouTube or Google. But it's a great business-to-business platform, and the demographics are this breakdown here. So 45% of people, the largest percent of people have make $75,000 or more. 13% make under 30,000, and 20% make between 30 and 49, and 24% between 50 and 74. So that's good to know when you're thinking, okay, does my demographic make, maybe my demographic makes 150,000 a year. Okay, perhaps I want to go on LinkedIn, but let me check out the other platforms first to really see what makes the most sense. If you're doing your social media marketing yourself as an artist, you want to think about, what do you have the bandwidth for? If you only have the bandwidth for one platform, only choose one platform. Because the content that goes on each platform, really, you can put the same content on each platform, but I don't think it helps a business or a brand when someone does that. Because what happens is the content and the way that it's strategized, the way it's put together with the copy and the picture and the video and the hashtags and the emojis, and don't be afraid of emojis. If they're relevant, it really helps to have your content seen in the feed. But all of these pieces do need to be different on each platform, in my opinion. Not everyone does that, and that's fine. Everybody has to make the choice that's best for them. But if I were, to say, okay, if you want to get the most reach for your ideal client and to speak to them in a way that makes sense for that platform, it just has to look a little different for each platform. While the content and the context is similar, the way that you put it together, can get more eyes on it and be seen easier when it's tailored for each platform. So if you only have bandwidth for one platform, that's okay. That doesn't mean anything negative. I would literally try to do the best you can and learn that one platform instead of trying to master 5 and not doing the best job and not being consistent on each platform. And plus, it's just too overwhelming. So the education demographics for LinkedIn is 50% have a college education or more, and 22% have some college. So it's a more educated platform. And here you go, 27% are in suburban areas with 30% in urban. So, and 13% in rural. So here we are in Vermont, in rural Vermont, and many of us are on all of that. And 52% are male, just a little bit more than female. But, quite honestly, what I'm seeing from where I'm standing is I'm seeing a lot of like, it looks kind of like an even split. Um, Kind of interested to see where the demographics go in the future. But right now, with being on LinkedIn as a professional and a brand, I'm really seeing a split, and it's really great. You get to meet a lot of new people and learn from them and learn from each other. It's a great platform. 63% of LinkedIn users are accessing the network weekly and 22% daily. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of good content there. It's easy to be overwhelmed with all the content. So you have to kind of think about, what is it that I want to do here? What is my goal? Let's see. So you can research people and companies and connect with businesses and associations and colleagues, and build relationships there. So it's definitely not a bad idea to be there if it made sense demographically. You can, post content that brings people to connect with you. You end up looking like you are the expert in your field. And it's a great way to just, build your network essentially. TikTok is really important. I've I've really learned more about TikTok in the last year. I'm a consumer on TikTok. I am not yet a business on TikTok, but I will say this: what a wonderful platform for learning, for connecting, for there's honestly, I feel there's so much value there. And when I've said this to people, they just laugh at me, and I don't blame them, because it's new and people think it's just for teenagers, but it's not really just for teenagers. There are a lot of brands, professional brands, that are on TikTok. It's all about what kind of content you're creating to attract your ideal client. You don't have to do the dances if you don't want to. That's not necessary. You don't have to, do things that you're not comfortable with on any platforms. That's a really big thing I should stress. You do what you feel comfortable with. And, sometimes that might mean like thinking outside the box. But if you're not comfortable doing dances, don't do it. That's not necessary. You can certainly grow your business without doing that. But it's a video sharing social media app, owned by a tech company called ByteDance, which that's kind of funny because people do dance on there. So that makes sense that it's going in that direction. But it's yes, it is popular with younger people, but at the same time, people are building entire careers off of the content that they're sharing on TikTok. And I've seen some really professional businesses on there just grow their brand so much, and hit their financial goals, and just hit it's not about, oh, I have to have 1 million followers. I mean, if you got to 1 million followers, that's amazing. But followers they're kind of considered vanity metrics. Followers don't immediately say, it doesn't equal conversion. And I've seen brands with not a lot of followers have a lot of conversion. And when I say conversion, I mean, are people, are they funneling and going to, buy your services off of your website? Are they signing up for your email list? Those are conversions. And so when you think about followers, don't just think, oh, I have to have this many followers for me to be a good brand. No, it's about the content you bring, the value, the community you're building, the customer service, all of these benefits we talked about, for people to understand what you do and how you can solve their problems as a brand. So it's 61% female and 39% male. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. But again, this is what the data looks like today on May 25th. The data will change in the future, as it will with anything. But right now, this is where it stands, and it's good to know that as you're going forward. So if your target audience, your ideal client, is more a female, then that's a good thing to think about, and maybe you want to be on TikTok. It's the most downloaded app worldwide. 19% of college graduates use TikTok, and users are between the ages of 15 and 25. However, that grew during the pandemic, and that makes a lot of sense because it's videos, right? The videos, the time limit now, TikTok has upped their time limit to 10 minutes. So, you have like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and they might add others in between. But they're learning that people really want to see video, which makes sense. So TikTok, YouTube, Reels on Instagram, there's stories on Facebook too. They disappear in 24 hours. But every platform seems to want a little slice of the pie, um, so that they can have a bigger pie, right? But everybody's kind of competing against each other and hoping to create more features so that the users will go there. And some people use all platforms, but maybe as a consumer, not a brand. Hard to have bandwidth for all of those platforms. They're spending 90 minutes per day on the platform. I think that's the most we've seen on these platforms so far today. So it's a really popular platform. 40% of Gen Z say they're directly influenced by products on TikTok. So brands really should think about this when they're trying to sell their product. I've seen a lot of ads personally there, and I've actually purchased one or two things that I learned about on TikTok. So it definitely grabbed my attention. It grabbed my attention in the first, I think TikTok, it's like in the first 3 seconds, you really have to get the person immediately, to make them stay, or they're going to swipe to the next video. So TikTok ranked $2.3 billion in consumer spending in 2021 quarter four, coming up from I'm sorry, excuse me. As of quarter four in 2021, TikTok raked in $2.3 billion in consumer spending, marking an increase of 77% from 2020 quarter four. So it's definitely growing. It's definitely growing, and it's valued at $50 billion. I noticed there's an in-app currency piece of the app that you can send gifts to other creators. So if you like what they're doing, you can send money to them. So and gifts, which is pretty interesting to see how that rolls out.
Andrea?
Yes.
We have a question, and it's if you could comment on the use of Twitch and Patreon as well for creative businesses. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah, I am familiar with those. Twitch, not as much. Patreon, I have seen a lot. It's definitely a good place if you feel, actually both, I would say. If you feel it makes sense for your business to have that be part of your marketing mix, absolutely. I've seen creators on Patreon for sure. The thing is when you put yourself on these platforms, make sure you fill it out. You really put your about section and explain what it is that you do as a brand and as an artist, and then drive traffic to that page. The content is only as good as it is with people. Like it's great content, and you don't want to have that opportunity go to waste. You want people to see it. You want the eyes on it. So if you're able to what we call cross promotion and cross sell, it's okay to bring people to your Patreon from your Instagram page, or from bring them to your Twitch from another platform you use, or say you've already integrated email marketing into your marketing mix. You can send put the links to your social platforms in your email campaign. I know this isn't about email today, but I just there's a great crossover on how the content is created and how it can reach your audience using both techniques. But even if you're just using social media, and that's fine, put that information there and talk about, oh, you can find out about this on this page or that page. So I think understanding the demographics of those platforms, think about your goals. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to do in my business? Who am I trying to reach, and why? That's going to help with how do I promote this platform that I'm on. Yeah, that's a great question. And I mean, for any platform, does it make sense for me to be here? and then look at those analytics, those metrics, weekly, and just don't expect things to happen overnight. That's the really, really big thing I want to stress. It does take time. And even if you got a little growth or you saw one change, that's going to give you a signal of, oh, okay, that is working. That's the kind of content I want to post more of and share and be consistent. And it's going to get better as you go forward and you make those changes to bring it forward. Did that help? I hope that helped. If not, let me know, and I'm here to answer more questions.
I think that's a good answer.
Okay, great. Okay, so TikTok, and thank you so much for asking that question. I think that was really, really helpful to discuss that. 18 to 24-year-olds are the leading age group for TikTok. But I think as more, I'm wondering, as more brands are seeing the value in the platform, if that's going to change, if it's going to change where maybe it'll be, older demographics, but we'll see how that goes in the future. So a lot of TikTok users want funny and engaging content on TikTok. It's true. This is a cow, if you can't make it out. We're in Vermont. I thought a cow needed to make itself into the presentation somehow. But yeah, people want to see, they want to see funny, they do want to see, entertainment and educational. It doesn't have to all be funny, especially if you're if you're a law firm, you're not, we're artists here, but I mean, a law firm could be on TikTok, or a more serious brand could be on TikTok. It's all in how you structure your content to bring it forward. But seeing as this is for Vermont Arts Council, absolutely. Inspiring, entertaining content on TikTok makes a lot of sense, and it's going to reach people easier. And 41% of users have uploaded a video reacting to another video. I've seen this, it's like a duel. You take someone's video. You as a musician could even, take a video and like listen to it, have it be a video on your channel and kind of talk about that. That's actually a great way to grow your channel. But you have to hook people in the first 3 seconds. That's the big thing. But that's not too hard. You could explain immediately what you're going to do in the video. That's really going to grab people's attention. And this allows, smaller brands, freelancers and artists, musicians, and one person shows to go viral on TikTok with little effort. So I know we're getting close to the end here, but Pinterest, and then we're going to talk about content calendars. So Pinterest is a visual discovery engine. It's essentially like Google, but like on Google, when you hit in the search bar after you type in something, you have options. You can see links, you can see images. It's kind of like the images version of Google search. But so if you go to Pinterest and you type in the search area in the pin area and you type in Vermont, this is a snapshot I came up with yesterday. These are pins. And what happens is if you were on Pinterest and you clicked on this, it would take you not just to the pin where you could see the beautiful pictures and graphics, but it has the website link or whatever website the person who created this embedded into the photo, the pin. So when you click that, it takes you directly to their website. Now talk about bringing someone to your website, right? I mean, or wherever, or your course, or maybe you're a musician and you teach online guitar classes or violin or something like that. You could have somebody go directly to where they can sign up to pay for your course by clicking a pin, because they went to Pinterest and searched for it. I mean, it's just so amazing. From where I'm standing, that's just genius. And we want to see things. That's really helpful. And so the percentage of adults who use Pinterest by gender, it's mostly women, but men have come forward more during the pandemic. It's grown, which that's interesting to see. And because it's not just, Pinterest started out as brides who wanted to build their wedding, whether it's a registry or their wedding. But it's so much more than that now. You can learn there. You can just share lots of different types of content through pins and inform your public. So The largest age group is 50 to 64. Leading on with female, as we talked about, time spent per day is 14.2 minutes. I kind of find that low, to be honest, because there's so much you can find, but maybe that's because you go and put whatever in the search bar, find what you need, and there you go. I mean, perhaps that's why it's less. I don't know what the reason behind that is, but I'm curious to know. Pinterest claims 8 out of 10 moms in the USA use the platform. That's really helpful. So if you have a product or service that you think your demographic is moms, Pinterest might be your place to go. And 86.2% of Pinterest users also use Instagram. I think that's really helpful to know. People make over $75,000 a year. Oops, did I miss something there? 70% of users say it's their favorite platform. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there, a lot of content you can share. Pins are, different sizing. Each platform has different sizing that you want your content to be, or your graphic, I should say. And, Canva or Adobe, whichever one you prefer, they're competitors, of course, but if you like Canva and Adobe, they both allow you to make a graphic that is the size that is needed for each platform. And that's going to help your content, your graphic, be seen easier in terms of, is it clear, is it crisp? But we can talk about that more at the next webinar. So now we're going to talk about content calendars. Those are the demographics and some statistics from each platform. Now a content calendar. And what the heck is a content calendar? Well, it's a really, really important piece. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as we round out the end of this webinar. And if you have questions, there's that time. But a content calendar is essentially, it's an editorial calendar used to plan digital content for social media, email marketing, blogs. But today we're going to talk about social media only, so it doesn't. It's an efficient way to plan and organize your social media posting schedule. This way, it takes away the overwhelm, and it takes away you having to every day sit in front of the computer and say, oh my God, what am I posting today? Because I don't know about you, but that is not something I want to do, because that's overwhelming in itself. Because then you feel like you're behind the ball, and that's stress. We don't want stress. We want to eliminate stress if we can. What the content calendar does and why it's important is it's going to help you organize when, where, and how your content is going to appear on your social channels, and which channels do you want to post to. If you were on a couple channels, if you were comfortable being on a couple, you might say to yourself, you know what, this day I'm going to post on Facebook, but I'm not going to post on Instagram, because there's also a cadence. How many times do you post to each platform? And the industry has, based on the algorithms of each platform, has decided, okay, on Facebook, you want to post, 4 times a week at least. If you were really trying to grow your brand, you'd maybe post every day, but it's really different for each platform. Essentially, the content calendar is the big picture approach to your social media content planning, and it allows you to visualize and organize your ideas, which is very, very helpful. It's part of the strategy. It really needs to be part of a strategy when you're building a social media marketing strategy for your brand, because again, it's like one of the puzzle pieces. And it helps you create opportunities for more success of conversions, of people buying your product or service, signups for email lists, sales, even people becoming followers. When you put in these questions in your posts that invite people to engage with your content, and you put the call to actions in, it kind of gives you an idea on this content calendar. Okay, I have some of this, I need more of this. So it helps to balance out what you're putting forward. So what's included? Again, it's what you will share, when you're going to share it, and where you're going to share it. Some of the posts that you include on your content calendar can be the date, when is it going to be published? What's the theme? What are you actually talking about? Your description, your visual description, including short sentences about, your post or video. Maybe it has some hashtags in there. If it's Twitter or Instagram, it has more hashtags. If it's LinkedIn, maybe it has just a couple. or Facebook, just a couple. You have format, the platform. I mean, there's so much. You're essentially taking, it's really a puzzle. You're taking all these pieces and putting it together on a content calendar so that you are planning what you're going to schedule in the future. Here's just an example. I took this off of Facebook Blueprint, which is Meta has, you can learn about, different ways to market yourself on Facebook and Instagram, which is really, really a wonderful resource. If you want to jump on over to Meta and, or you could just Google, how to market on Facebook, and then that will come up. But this is basically an example of what a content calendar could look like. And this, looks like it's in either Google Sheets, or you can even do it on Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Make it simple. Don't make it, there's a lot of different ways of content calendars, like how they look, but sometimes they can be really, really overwhelming in themselves. So you want to try to simplify it just with the date, the theme, the caption, the description, the format, the platform, so you know where it's going. Honestly, you can basically pick what you like, because everybody's different. Everybody works differently. So maybe you want it to be a little more information, and that's fine. Just do what's going to work for you, because you don't want the content calendar to make you feel stressed out. Then you're not going to even want to do the next parts. But the types you can use, Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Excel, Google Sheets. You could even just go to Google or Bing, whichever ones you're using, or Mozilla, and type in content calendar template, and then click on over to the images search, and it will show you all the different types you could potentially, just use that template. You can also search on Pinterest for content calendar template, and boy, you are going to find a lot. So, whichever way you go, or maybe you just want to go to start your own, you can start from scratch. That works too. And again, it's just like a puzzle. You're going to take all these pieces. What are the holidays coming up? What are my holidays specific to my brand coming up? And you put the puzzle together, and then you can build the content, you build the graphics, you build the videos, the copy, the hashtags, all of it. Put it together and then place it on the calendar that makes sense based on when you think your ideal client is going to show up and see the content appear in their feed on the platforms. So to have them know more about your brand and, funnel to your website and promote your products. And we're going to talk more about scheduling posts during the techniques, tools and tips webinar on June 22nd. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'd love to share that with you on that date. So that pretty much is the end of the webinar and the presentation that is on my end. If you have any questions, about general business questions or updates with the Vermont Small Business Development Center, feel free to email them. And you can also find the Vermont Small Business Development Center on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So feel free to go over there and give us a like and a follow, and see all the great stuff that they're doing, because they're really excited to help small businesses and artists in growing their brands. So that's the end of the presentation, and I'm wondering if anybody has questions. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to put my video on. Okay, are there any questions from anyone in the crowd? Or
there are no questions right now.
Okay.
So I think your presentation was very clear. Awesome. And we are recording it, so this is going to be posted on the website if people want to see it again. So I am going to stop the recording now. So